Well, good morning, Lansing Journal readers and subscribers. We come to you a day early today because the Northwest Indiana Symphony Orchestra is coming to Lansing on Friday. The same morning that you're going to be seeing this in your email, you will be able to attend the orchestra in the evening. And today we have with us two members of the orchestra, two principal members of the orchestra, if I'm correct. Please, can you introduce yourselves and tell us what instruments you play?
Sure. I'm Cynthia Fadala, and I'm principal flute with the orchestra.
My name's Tom Stark, and I play principal trombone with the orchestra.
Wonderful. Thank you both for taking some time. We're catching these two on Thursday evening right before your final rehearsal, before your performance tomorrow. Is that right?
Correct.
That's right.
Very good. How long have both of you been with the orchestra?
I've been with the orchestra for a total of about 32 years now.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I'm officially with the orchestra 12 years now this year.
12 years. So lots of experience between these two musicians. And when people describe you as the principal flutist and the principal trombonist, what does that mean? Principal.
The principal player is usually described like, if you put it in terms of elementary school band, we're the first chair player.
First chair.
Yeah.
I think a lot of our watchers will know what that means.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's generally what that means then.
Yeah.
Okay. What kind of work does it take to be the principal? I imagine you've lots of experience and lots of hours, probably hundreds of hours of practice, thousands.
Yes, that is quite true.
That's quite true.
Yeah.
Well, I know we both have degrees in music, and getting a position like this is through an audition process. And so each member of the orchestra has to go through some kind of an audition process to be a full-time member of the orchestra.
Okay.
And so, lots of practice hours and getting through that kind of process.
Okay. Okay. So I have to ask, Cynthia, is it flutist or flautist?
Well, it can be either.
Okay.
But if you're in Italy, you are a flautist because you
Okay.
play the flute. But here in America, we play the flute. So I just say flutist. But it's either one is totally fine.
Depends on how
Whether you're European or whether you're American.
how snooty you want to sound. Huh? Yeah. Very cool. All right. What would you say, both of you, is the most challenging thing about playing your particular instrument, the trombone and the flute?
For the flute, we have a lot of fast playing, so a lot of technique, a lot of difficult passages, quick notes, coordinating tongue and fingers, a lot of compound tonguing. And because the flute is a quieter instrument, there's a lot of projection that has to happen. We're smack dab in the center of the orchestra, but we have to project out over the strings and get out there to the audience as best as we can. So a lot of composers just write the flute is more soloistic. Maybe when the orchestra is quieter, then you can hear that flute. But there are times when everyone is playing and we need to hear the flute too.
Right.
So we have to be able to have some power behind it as well. But I would just say the fast playing is the difficult part.
Okay.
Well, we all know trombones really don't have problems projecting over the orchestra.
That's right.
But our role is really a supportive role, and the trombones work more closely as a section. So there's usually 3 trombones and 1 tuba in the orchestra, and we all will play as a section together. Our parts are together in harmony, and we usually are in a supportive role with the rest of the brass and for the orchestra. So a lot of the music that we get to play is hymn-like or chorale-like,
Sure.
or more fanfare-like type of music.
Sure.
So that's usually the role that we get, and it's quite enjoyable.
Yeah. Very cool. So lots of decades of experience between both of you combined. What would you say is your favorite experience that you've had as a musician in your professional career?
You first.
I
Tough.
I love to play the movie music.
Okay.
We've had several opportunities here in Northwest Indiana Symphony to play full concerts of movie music, and it's for me that's really enjoyable. We've done a full John Williams
wow.
concert.
It's lots of brass, right?
Just
for the
lots of
trombones,
brass.
yeah.
So I really love the movie music. We do, I think, have another movie concert coming this season. So
Okay.
check the calendar.
Very cool. Very good.
Yeah, that's a hard one to answer because there's been so many wonderful experiences and so much beautiful repertoire written for the woodwinds and the flute.
I'm sure.
But I also enjoy the movie music. It's a lot of notes. John Williams writes some of the most difficult scores technically, so it's a lot of work. But I enjoy that too, and I enjoy all the classical music as well. There's so much Ravel and Mahler and Tchaikovsky. It's just endless. So. And we do all of that here in Northwest Indiana Symphony too. So
That's very cool.
Yes.
And I want to touch on y'all coming to Fox Point on Friday, but I do want to, since you brought up the classical music, what are your thoughts on classical music being relevant today? What would you say, as people who are very invested in playing classical music, what's the relevance for us today when you turn on the radio and you are probably hard pressed to find any classical music, right? Any thoughts on that?
that's a tough one.
That is a tough one.
Because classical music, I mean, as the ages go on, it seems like audiences are more drawn to the pops,
Right.
the John Williams, the movie music,
Sure.
That kind of thing. It's kind of the generations being interested in classical music. Unfortunately, it's not as much as it was in like our parents' generation or grandparents' generation.
Right.
And that's what we're seeing, unfortunately.
Yeah, I agree with what Cindy said. And I think many orchestras are struggling to find relevance with the audiences now, and with different kinds of interactions, online interaction during concerts or something like that. But yeah, and as Cindy said, I think audiences are drawn more to the pops style concerts, movie musics, or opera settings, or things like that, and which I seem to notice that audience numbers are a bit more robust during those concerts sometimes. And maybe the demographic is a little bit older for classics.
Sure. Well, one thing thank you both for, that's kind of a challenging question. One thing that I noticed with tomorrow's program is that you have a good mix of some more modern music and some classical music. And I think that people who and I assume that'll be true throughout your summer concert series, people who come to see the orchestra will get a full flavor of all different types of music, and maybe someone who hasn't realized the beauty of a classical piece of music, they might be coming for John Williams, but they might leave really appreciating something really classical, which I think is really cool.
Yeah.
I think our maestro, Kirk Musprat, does a fantastic job of programming because for that very reason. There's a lot of variety, music from all different genres, something for everyone to enjoy. And that's what's great about these summer concerts is that we do get to play our classics, we get to play challenging stuff, traditional classical music, but then he does have John Williams in there, and he
Right.
does have the popular stuff, so it's really a nice mix. And he himself too he's funny, it's very entertaining. I just find the audience is really enjoying it, the mix of everything.
I
very
agree.
good.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Last year was the first year that the orchestra came to Fox Point, and there was a large crowd.
Yes.
Were
Yeah.
both of you present for that
Yes.
concert?
Absolutely. Yeah.
What do you remember about that concert? Anything that sticks with you from last year?
Boy, I remember the crowd being. I thought the crowd was enormous. It was sort of packed into that space, and they were very, very responsive. And I remember they really seemed to enjoy all the selections of the programming. Like Cindy said, the maestro is really good at interacting with the audience and speaking at an easy level where everyone can enjoy and understand what's happening. And I think it was really enjoyable for everybody. When you walk out of the concert to the parking lot, you walk by audience members and concert goers, and everybody is always saying thanks for the concert.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. Boy, I hadn't heard that piece before. and I really had a good time. So that's
great.
It's fulfilling for us to perform such concerts.
Wonderful. Yeah.
And coming out of what we've all just been through the last couple of years, and last year was just 1 year out, it was so rewarding to be a part of music making when you know the music is affecting people like that.
Right.
It's maybe giving them a joy again, maybe shaking off despair or whatever's going on with all of us. It's just really a lot of fun, and it's rewarding to be and gratifying to be a part of that music making.
Absolutely. So you're about to start rehearsal tomorrow. You're going to be presenting this slate of music for the first time for the
Yes.
summer concert series for the NISO. Anything that you're particularly excited about for the audience reaction, pieces of music, particularly tomorrow, that you're excited to play?
We're doing Malaguena, a Spanish piece that's really, people will recognize it.
Okay.
It's really fun. It has that Latin flair.
Okay.
It's technical, it's showy, but we got the John Williams going on too.
Nice. Nice.
Again, a good mix.
Really good mix, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we are excited to hear it. Please, Lansing, if you're viewing this video on Friday morning, come out on Friday night. It is free. You can also bring your own picnic.
Yeah.
If you're over 21, you can bring your own drinks as well. Some of the rules are changed to get people out to really enjoy the NISO that's going to be at Fox Point on Friday. So come out and enjoy that. Tom and Cindy, thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
taking some
Thank
time.
you.
It was a pleasure to talk with you.
You too.
pleasure.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
We'll see you next week.